coming back. The third one was that I enjoyed being in Africa, not just Ghana, Africa generally. And it made sense that if I'm going to be in Africa, I should be home. The main challenges coming to Ghana, I feel, was number one, finding a place to live. Number two, setting up the business, understanding the environment, getting used to the way things were done, understanding the people, how things worked. And then also you have to have a car, you know, having a vehicle to move around, because the transportation system isn't as we would like it. A lot of people that I meet, they have schoolmates because they went to school in Ghana, so they have kind of formed cliques and friendships. And sometimes, a lot of the time actually, you feel a bit on the outside. So you have to kind of work hard to get into groups and network. So that's one of the things that's quite challenging. My major success, I believe, will be my consultancy business, OML Africa. Now, if you kind of ask about HR strategic companies in Ghana, definitely OML Africa will come up. And then the second one, I would say, is a personal one. That is that despite all the challenges and difficulties in the beginning and in the middle, I didn't give up and go back. I stayed. My advice to anyone who is thinking of returning to Ghana is that I would say plan. You know, if I could turn the clock back, I think I would plan more. And the plan should include where you will live, what you do for a living, because you do need to have income coming in. And I would say that get connected to trusted people who are in Ghana, who can help you do this.
Your all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, and listen to music. Enjoy Ayoba with MTN. Download Ayoba now.
My name is Echo Pierre. From Ghana. Lived in the States on and off between 2002 and 2016. So the first time I moved home as an adult was in 2010. I had graduated college, worked for 4 years, really wanted to come home and do something that made a difference, make an impact. It was not a great experience. I did a few things that time around, tried to start my own business. There were a lot of challenges. So I'm working on a novel now. This time has been much better. So the first time around, a lot of the problems were adjusting to the culture. Adjusting to the way we do things. If you have a family, school for your kids, you know, place to live, car, all that stuff. Finding it and then just maintaining it is difficult. The longer you live here, the easier it is. Since I've been here the second time around, putting out the children's book, A is for Accra, is definitely one of the big successes. I wrote it with my sister. She lives in the UK. She did the illustration. Writing it was easy, but then publishing, you know, you're back in the system. So we self-published, which meant finding our own printer, funding our own publication, finding our own distribution channels, our own stores, online, brick and mortar. And doing all that stuff is the same kind of things I had challenges with the first time. This time around was better. Having more connections, and the book sold well and people like it, and I think it's exactly what I was trying to do the first time in terms of actually doing something that makes a difference. So my advice for people coming back, move slowly. Don't jump on a plane and just come here. Try to visit as often as possible, at least once a year. Don't come at Christmas time when everyone is partying. Come during the year, see how people go to school, see how people work, make connections. It's not as bad as everyone says. It's, you know, there is a way you can do it. It's just, it takes some planning.
to the MTN Pulse Just Be series with Ahaspara. My name is Apioko and I'm your moderator for today. Thank you for joining us online. If you're watching us or you're here as well in the auditorium, because we do have a bit of a live audience even though we're keeping it small because of COVID-19. Do let your friends tune in to Ahaspara and MTN's Facebook and YouTube pages. And if you're watching us already, thank you very much. Share the link, share the word, and come just hear inspirational stories. Now, what is the MTN Pulse Just Be series? A wise person once said that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And indeed, MTN Pulse has given the space for young people to get into entrepreneurship and to do it very, very well. So that's what we're here to do today. We're here to hear the stories of young people who are entrepreneurs, who are doing it well, and who, in this case, today, the topic we're looking at is they've managed to build and develop trusted brands for their startups or their non-profits. Okay, so that's what we're here to do today. We're here to learn, we're here to be inspired. If you live in Ghana or you've been following the Ghanaian news recently, our finance minister did say that the national payroll is full, and so young people should get into entrepreneurship. It's been that way for a long time. It's just the first one who was able to say it. And so be inspired. All the dreams that you have today, understand that it's possible for them to come to fruition. Let me also tell you a little bit about Ahaspara. Okay, Ahaspara 10 years ago came into being to promote brain gain. You know how we talk about the brain drain? A lot of people are traveling outside of Ghana, outside of Africa, to go and look for greener pastures. Ahaspara came and said, look, some of us have been, we've come, and we're here to encourage people to let you know that you can stay. Even when you do go and learn, acquire knowledge, get exposure, you should come back and contribute your quota to the nation Ghana and to the continent of Africa. And that's what Ahaspara has been doing for 10 years. Now, the MTN Pulse platform as well, it's for young people. It offers you the flexibility to choose either the data or voice over packages and bundles, as well as enjoying loyalty offers, such as the best place to relish and get cuisine, because when you're working hard, you're thinking hard, you need to eat good food, right? And MTN Pulse allows you to do that for a more affordable price. And discounted prices from KFC, Potbelly Shack, and then appreciates the amazing discounts on Yango rides, because you need to get in a car or have transportation to get to the place to eat, right? So MTN Pulse allows you to do that. And there are silver bird tickets that are discounted as well when you're on the MTN Pulse platform. So if you're not there yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, wasting too much time. Get on MTN Pulse and enjoy all the benefits, okay? So today's topic, let me just tell you very briefly about it. I mentioned it very briefly. We're talking about building and developing a trusted brand for your startup or nonprofit. When you enter the business world, how many of you here are businessmen and women already? Any of you? Okay. Have you been in business for a very long time? No? It's good. No, it's good. You started, and that's a good thing. How many of you aspire to be businessmen and women? Yeah, great. That's why you're here, right? And then we have some great ones sitting with me up here who I'll introduce shortly. And for those of you online as well, I'm sure that some of you who are already in business who hope to get into business. But in the business world, one of the things you always hear is that you do business with people who you trust. And apart from people who you trust, you tend to gravitate towards brands that you trust. How do you build a brand that's trusted, that's credible? And how do you indeed build a brand that even catches people's attention in the first place so that they pay attention to it and pay attention to you? That's what we're here to talk about today. Be it a business, a startup, a non-profit, how do you build that brand that's trusted? And how do you develop it so that it also lasts, it has longevity on a market? So that's what we're talking about today. And it's especially important because during the COVID-19 pandemic, so many businesses have collapsed. Some are still standing, but they've lost credibility. And how do you make sure that when the world is hit by something like this once again, because it may well be, and we may be living with COVID for a while, how do you make sure that when you do get into business, as you are in business, you're running a nonprofit, things like global pandemics and all the other things that life throw at you don't segue your brand into a place where people don't trust it. That's what we're here to talk about today. And last thing I'll say before we delve right into the conversation, If you're participating in today's session, either physically here at Alisa Hotel, Northridge, Accra, or online again on MTN and Ahaspara's YouTube and Facebook pages, you can join a 3-month incubator program starting from the 23rd of January 2022. And the topics such as design thinking, strategic planning and communications, marketing, will delve into that. And you have coaches who understand it better than anybody else, who have done it, they've walked the talk, lived it. They'll be there to help put you in a better place to launch and scale your entrepreneurial ventures. And you can also experience a variety of entrepreneurial videos from side hustlers on the Hustle aka Just Be section of the Pulse app. So another reason to make sure that you're on MTN Pulse. Very, very, very important. Some people have full-time jobs and they have side hustles. I do. This is a side hustle and I'm here. Okay, so very important. Go there, see what people are doing, learn some more. You can download the app now, the Google Play Store and Apple Store as well. And they enjoy all of this and more. You can dial *567# to enjoy similar offers. And for the mentorship sessions that will be happening in January, I believe when you registered, you were told about a QR code that you can scan. Great. So those of you online, we will have a QR code up at some point. You can scan it, and then that will help you register for the mentorship sessions that will be happening in January 2022. All right? Can we go? Hashtags, very important. Hashtag MTN Pulse Just Be Series. Hashtag MTN with Ahaspara. Hashtag mentoring matters. So just go out there and hashtag and spread the word so that we can have more and more entrepreneurs and build up our economy to be a robust one. Yeah? Oh, but you guys, a round of applause and let's start this. Okay, now I'm going to introduce our panelists. Before I do that, let me just remind you that yes, you have to drink water, you have to drink some juice, you need to go to the bathroom and breathe, but it's still COVID time. Those of us here, we're not wearing our mask because we don't want our voices to be muffled, and a big part of communication is seeing body language and facial expressions. But those of you who are in the audience here, please make sure your masks remain on, unless you need to take a sip of water or you're stepping out to do something where there's enough space around you to do that, okay? Very, very important. I'll remind you from time to time. Okay, should we start? Wonderful. So, I'll start with the lady to my immediate left. Hi, Kezia. So let me tell you about Kezia. She's, well, her full name, Kezia Sejua Sani, right?
Yes.
Okay, Kezia Sejua Sani. She's 21 years old. I think that deserves a round of applause. I paused for you to clap. She's 21 years old, and I think that if a 21-year-old is sitting up on a platform like this to talk about a non-profit, which we'll learn about very shortly, then anybody here, anybody watching us can dream, and it's possible for that dream to come into fruition, right? So another round of applause. So Kezia is an impact-driven, confident, and results-oriented lady. And I mean, it's clear. She's focused on making the world a better place. As a social entrepreneur and the founder and president of For the Future Ghana, an NGO focused on alleviating the plight of underprivileged children, which has, I mean, she founded it back when she was in high school. She has embarked on a number of charitable projects which have seen over 2,000 children benefit from the project. I think that also deserves another round of applause. She's also a law student at the University of Ghana Law School, and she has the aspiration of becoming a global asset in the legal practice. She's a people's person, loving, and she's interested in the growth of others. So a round of applause for Kezia, and we'll talk to her shortly. Elsland Ewuji Samson, who we all call Elsie, right? Now, she is the founder and team lead at Big Sam's Market, an online grocery shopping and delivery service in Accra, Ghana. And look, her story, she'll tell it herself, but let me just give you a glimpse into it because it's so inspiring. In 2014, so that's how many years ago? 7 years. 2014, after doing some research, she came across a grocery delivery service on the internet and she got interested. Believing that convenience services would be in high demand in a few years, she was optimistic that the service had a future here in Ghana, though some people, as usual, the naysayers, discussed with her and discouraged her not to do it. Finding no data on such services in Ghana, she relied on data and information from Nigeria, South Africa, and the United States to start a pilot grocery delivery service on the KNUST campus in 2015. So 1 year later, after all the research, she started the pilot. However, she wouldn't succeed until 2017, where she decided to incorporate the Ghanaian way of life and terms into the brand she was building, starting with her own personal brand. Elsie is popularly known as Adwoa Agboblushi. She, together with her team since 2017, have given a contemporary spin and appeal while maintaining the traditional feel of foodstuff shopping in Ghana. She loves to mentor upcoming entrepreneurs who are interested in giving contemporary appeal to informal businesses. Adwoa Agboblushi holds a bachelor's degree in communication design from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And get this, she worked as a graphic designer for 3 years at a TV station before she went into business. So a round of applause for her. And last but not the least, definitely not the least, our gentleman, the only gentleman on this stage today, Benjamin Arthur. He's the founder and lead strategist of Lime and Honey, a creative digital agency based in Accra, Ghana. Benjamin is a seasoned graphic designer, brand identity developer, and brand strategist, so you all need to be talking to him after this. He commenced his career in advertising after graduating from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where he studied communication design. Starting off as a graphic designer, he was able to solve brand problems by creating compelling visuals that communicate to its target audience. Following his success as a designer at the early stage of his career at Echo House, Ghana, you all know Echo House? Great. While working on, if you don't know, go and find out, because when you start a business, you need to know the brands that can help you make your brand, okay? Very important. So he worked on brands like Vodafone Ghana, KFC, Origin Ghana, and others. He gained experience in digital marketing and advertising. He's also a publishing designer from his work as a creative designer at Ago Magazine. You know Ago Magazine? Okay, Benjamin's been places. In 2018, he followed his passion for disruptive storytelling and started Lime and Honey, a creative agency with storytelling at its core. LNH, or LH as we call it, solves brand problems through storytelling that wins hearts using animation, branding and strategy, digital marketing and production. Benjamin is a creative, strategic thinker passionate about designing for a better tomorrow. A round of applause for Benjamin Arthur and all of our speakers here today. Okay, should we get into this? Okay, so I'm just going to do a general round. I mean, I've read your bios, and from experience, I know that bios are always nicely professionally put. So in 2 lines each, tell us who you are. 2 lines each. Now this is branding 101. 2 lines each. Kezia, you first.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Kezia Sani, and I'm the founder and president of For the Future Ghana.
Yeah, sweet and simple. Yes. Round of applause for that. Okay, Benjamin, over to you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Benjamin Arthur, and I'm into strategic thinking and lead strategist at Lime and Honey.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Elsie.
I'm Adwoa Agboblushi.
Yes.
And just like my name goes, I'm small, but I'm a hard girl. So I'm Agboblushi. So I'm the team lead at Big Sam's Market. And I'm the girl who will not let you see me cry, but I cry a lot because entrepreneurship is not easy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to start, so I won't start with Kezia this time, I'll start from Adwoa Agboblushi. Now, for me, when I came across your business and your story, it made me really excited because I'm a storyteller, right? I work in the media, I'm a poet, and for me, one of the things that's always key is taking the local and giving it international appeal. So staying local, thinking local, appealing to your local audience, and then giving it international appeal. And I see that with your brand. You know, you haven't thrown away our agbobloshi models or our open air market models. You've embraced them and you've made them very sexy. So let's talk about what you were thinking back in 2014 when you got on the internet, found this grocery delivery service. Like, what were you thinking? Were you actually looking for something like that, or you were doing something else and it just popped up on your screen?
Okay, thank you. So I wasn't looking for it. I was, he's a communication design student as well. So I was doing a personal project on food packaging. I like packaging a lot. So it was through that I came across the word grocery delivery. And it was very new to me. And I thought, oh, this is a very good idea. It's going to work in Ghana. People will like it because, come on, save the stress of going to the markets and all that. And even as a student then, it was quite difficult going to the market to shop for groceries. So I felt this is going to be a magic idea. People are going to love it. Unfortunately, it didn't work like that. Like, people actually were thinking at that time, what if you cheat me? What if you go and buy 5 cedis tomatoes for me as 10 cedis?
Right.
And that's the reality that comes with business, entrepreneurship. You know, the idea comes in and it's wild. But when you start, or when you actually go to a customer, when you go to people and ask them, you get the real information from them on how they think. So in 2014, I felt, yeah, nice packaging, they're going to love it. But they didn't. People had different ideas about it. So the whole Walmart that I saw on the internet, the Whole Foods that I saw, it wasn't Agbobloshi. Yeah. You are not going to find Walmart or Whole Foods in it. Even there's a whole section of people that will not go to the mall.
Right.
Because they have the perception that the mall stuff
at
at the mall, yeah, it's too expensive. So, you know, it was actually trying to move the idea to another stage. So in 2014, the whole thing that I had in mind, when I brought it out there, it didn't work.
So you were in school then?
Yes.
What year were you in?
I was in my final year.
Okay, so level 400.
Level 400.
Okay, and you thought of this bright idea. Did you have to invest any money?
Yes, I had to. I had to do some flyers. I had to share them. Human resource, like encourage my friends, motivate them to go around with me to share the flyers. And I think one thing that they also let me succeed back in school was it was my final year working on my project, combining both. So I mostly advise people that when you are going to start something and there's another huge project that you're doing, you need to prioritize. And you need to know which of them will work. Because I was working on my project, so even when an order came, you can't deliver immediately because you're in class. So you need to factor a lot of things before you start the business. Yes. So final year project, it didn't help.
It didn't help. Okay, so let's talk about a year later, 2015. You tried this thing on campus. It wasn't working. How did you feel?
You know?
Because people didn't even trust you.
Yes.
And you had good intentions.
I had good intentions.
How did you feel?
I felt bad. I won't say I was happy. Why will I be happy?
Your friends who you brought on board to help you, were they upset with you?
My friends they actually also at a point believed that it was going to work. So with friends, family, I had that support. But the customers, because I tell you, your friends will not buy from you from the beginning. Your friends and family, they will post your flyers, but they will not buy. So they were supporting you, they were supporting me and all that, but they will not buy. So I need to go beyond my friends. And since it didn't work, I just, after school, I packed my things and came back to Accra.
Okay, I'll come back to you. But Benjamin, you were a graphics design communications student at KNUST. Did you see yourself working with a company like Echo House when you got out of school? Did you see it coming?
So I didn't see it coming, but it was a privilege or an advantage because with communication design students, we are allowed to do our internship program our second year. So the school actually gave me Echo House to start my internship program with Echo House. And yeah, after the internship program, I think it went well. So after school, I ended up going back to Echo House.
So how did it work? Was it that you were working, doing the internships during vacations or during school as part of your course you were working with them? How was it working?
So it was first they used to do it during like the school period, but then it became vacation. So on vacation you do your internship and then you come back.
Were you working for free?
No, we were supposed to work for free, but I mean Echo House being generous, we had a little take home.
You were blessed.
For the 3 months that
So
we
you
were
were
there,
ready to work for free, but something came, so you were happy.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
something came, so it was good.
Okay, so let's talk about your internship years. What are some of the things that you picked up that helped you to become the brand strategist you are today?
So the first thing I liked about Echo House was the work culture. It was a very free environment where
Echo House, I mean, they're youthful.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
MTN
you're allowed to express yourself, but then when it comes to work too, we get busy with work, right? So, I mean, I got to know about like the whole work culture and design culture from Echo House. I mean, it used to get like very busy at times, and you felt like, is this really for me? But yeah, with time it got better, and then yeah, I got to pick up the
after
passion.
school, now you were back at Echo House. Now it's no longer an internship; it's the real deal.
Yeah.
And now we are going to give you proper salary.
Yeah.
Which you are going to negotiate
Yes.
to some extent. So it's not a gift anymore. Was the environment different from when you were doing the internship?
So it wasn't different because at Echo House they don't really treat you as an intern. They give everybody the chance to express
Everybody will do
themselves.
something.
So I mean, you couldn't even see who was an intern and who was a full-time worker. We're all hands in when it comes to work, so it was still the same environment, same vibe. So yeah, it was good.
So now let's talk about how you got to Lime and Honey. I mean, you did Echo House. You're working with huge brands. But as you describe yourself, you like to do disruptive storytelling. Did you feel that Echo House or any other existing creative agency wasn't giving you the chance to be as disruptive as you wanted to be? I mean, what led you to do Lime and Honey?
Yes, so Lime and Honey was, I mean, birthed from passion. With big brands and big agencies, the creativity is a bit limited, sorry to say. You don't have...
No, don't be sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they work with like strict guidelines and everything, so you don't really have the opportunity to go all out. So, yeah, I mean, in 2018, I met my partner, Emmanuel, who was my roommate back then. So we had a conversation, and I think he was also facing the same challenge in his field. So we decided to, I mean, come up with Lime and Honey, where we will have the chance to actually take on clients who are ready to go all out with our ideas. So that was the birth of Lime and Honey.
I like your hair, Benjamin.
Thank you.
It's very
Thank you.
disruptive. Love
Thank
it.
you.
Love it. And I'll come back to you. I'll
Yeah,
come
sure.
back to you.
All right.
Kezia,
Yes, I feel
you're the baby on the stage, but there's nothing babyish about you and your brain and what you're doing. Let's talk about your NGO, right? And you're a student, or you were a student in school, high school. What kinds of dreams were you having that led you to jump into a charitable, feat in the first place, and then let alone establish a whole NGO?
Well, most of the time, I just start by saying this is more of a calling for me. Yes.
She doesn't talk like a 21-year-old, does she?
It's more of a calling for me. And at the time that I was in Wesley Girls High School first year, we had these little children who used to come to our pantry sometimes to steal our food and all of that. So we used to see the conditions they were in. And then I'm like, how can we help these children? But how this thing really started was, there was this time that we were about to vacate, And in Wesley Girls High School, we usually like to grow our hair so that when we come home on vacation,
can braid it.
Yes. And so my friends, my classmates, those who used to sit around me, started mixing up creams so that we can have a booster for our hair. And so when
Were
that
you a science student?
No, I was an art student.
Interesting.
So when that happened, I don't know how it started, but then they started saying, for the future, this is for the future, you know, and it became more like a movement, just teasing and joking about it. And I'm like, you guys, I like this name, and there's something that I've always been wanting to do. And so I think that through this name, we should start a charity, and this vacation, we should gather all the provisions that we did not eat up, and then find a place to share those things to children. I mean, after seeing how the Kakundunians come to steal our food, we realize that there's a problem. It's a problem of poverty, and we should help the children. So that's how it really now started. When my friends picked up the idea, they also liked it. And then we started making up plans. Okay, so well, where will we go? What will we do? You know. Then we thought, oh, one teacher had something similar, so we should tell her about it and see how she'd like to help us. So we told her.
So your teacher had some sort of
Yes,
an NGO or a charity endeavor that she
Yes.
was involved in.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we told her, she was very happy to know that we wanted to do this. And she said, oh, they're having something like that at their vacation, so we can join them and see how they do it and learn from them. That was our first ever project we did at Ashaiman. We just went to distribute food items and books, old clothes, all those things you can think of. And then from there, the next events, we started doing everything on our own.
Okay, so what form were you in when this idea came?
First year.
First year?
Yes.
First year?
Yes.
Wow. So subsequently, throughout high school, this is something you were doing.
Yes, and the most interesting part was that we had support from our parents, and then our friends, other people in different classes, and then there was also our friends from other schools. That's Fansfim School, Adesadel College, those even in Accra. Some of my friends from junior high school, when they saw it, also joined, and now we became a whole lot of students actually doing it. Yeah. So we got support from our parents. And that was what really facilitated.
So let's talk about how, so this was high school. Now you have a whole NGO.
Yes.
What was registration like? How, I mean, you started this first year, so you may not have been legal enough to sign any documents at the Registrar General's office. What was the process like? How did you get to that point?
We didn't even know that we were supposed to register. We didn't even know that we were supposed to register. We were just doing something. We thought this is really nice. We are doing it, you know. But later on, we started getting advice from people, you know, share the rules, register it, make a whole organization. Yeah. Then we.
Which people were these? Your parents, teachers?
Yes, parents, teachers, those who were concerned, church members, whoever. And we went to the Registrar General's department to have it registered. In 2019.
In 2019.
Yeah.
And at this point, you had been doing it for how long?
So we had been doing it for like 3 years because we registered it after high school.
High school. Of course, because then you were old enough
Yes.
to sign your own documents. Brilliant. And so between 2019 and now, since you registered, has the experience been different?
Very different. Because what started as a small charity in Wesley Girls High School and going out every vacation, every single vacation, we went somewhere to distribute items.
You people were not chilling. You were
No, we
working.
actually saw that as chilling because then you can meet up with your friends and then we go.
You have a good excuse.
Yes. But now it's more than just distributing items because now we actually have beneficiaries that we are taking through school, finding opportunities for them, nurturing them. And then there's even a bigger dream that I'll probably share later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. A round of applause for these three, please. So let me come back to Adragbo Blushi. 2015, it wasn't working. But somewhere in 2017, you had a light bulb moment, an aha moment. It was like, wait a minute, I need to make this locally relevant. I need to revisit the times of old, the things that are Ghanaian, and maybe that's what will make my business work. Let's walk through that process very briefly and then talk about how from there onwards you built your clientele base.
Okay. So when the idea came up, I think one of the first people I went to was my mom. My mom used to sell food stuff like way back. So she has that experience in food stuff, how you should store them. So one day, so in 2017, I had started working at a TV station.
Okay.
Yes. And I was still thinking about the work. And from uni, in final year, whenever we had a presentation.
You were doing graphics.
Yes.
Still graphics or motion graphics?
Still.
Still graphics.
Yes.
No, being a graphics designer at a TV station is grueling business, man. Yeah. So you need to clap for her. She was able to do that and still think about a business.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, in school, whenever we had to do a presentation about a business, like branding a business, I'll make sure my group will work on Big Sam, like a grocery delivery service, branding a grocery delivery service, introducing. So I was getting all these ideas. And then when I came to work too, I would tell my friends about it, my colleagues. I kept telling them about it. I'm going to do this. So one day in the class at work, I think one of them mentioned, I was advertising to someone, and the person mentioned that.
You were advertising?
Yes. And then the lady was like, will you get the stuff for me like you get from Abublushi? Mind you, I didn't know Abublushi at that time. And I had only stayed in Accra for about a year, because my parents were not living here, so we moved here after school. I didn't know Abublushi, and this lady was talking about Abublushi. So I went to ask my mom, say, Abublushi, na wahifa? And then she said, oh, that's where it is, it's over there. Hey, but I go to work and close around 11, 12. How will I go there? How will I get these stuff at these prices? So that's when I started thinking about the Abublushi. And I said, and it was on my mind throughout for a very long time, for about weeks. And then one day I was going home, sitting in the trotro, sitting in trotro. Don't be sad, though. Hey, sometimes you can think.
Trotro can give you moments of glory.
It can make you think. I was thinking. I remember very well where I was. I was at Dankwa, that area. And then Abublushi thing came again. I said, why don't I call myself Aja Abublushi? Because it's a very weird name. If I call myself Aja Abublushi on Facebook, Instagram, people will start asking, why have you called yourself Abublushi? What is this name about? What is happening? Then I contacted my friend to do a photo shoot with me wearing the hats, the Abublushi hats, with cloth, holding my food stuff and my t-shirt. So it was a whole Abublushi thing. If you go and type Aja Abublushi, you will see that, me with my hats. So when I shot that, I contacted another friend. Like, he actually encouraged me. He was like, Elsie, I'm a blogger. Let's create something about this. And then we created a story. And when he finished, it was supposed to go out, I think, on 30th October. On 1st November. When he told, I said, no, now
That's
I'm shy.
in 2017.
In 2017. I was scared. Should this go out now? Because if it goes out,
now you have to do the
people
work.
are not going to call. And then it actually went out on 30th October. It went out and people started finding out. I changed my Facebook, my Instagram to Aja Abublushi. And then people started asking, who is this? I was getting friend requests because the whole name was weird with the market woman thing on my DP, on my flyers, everywhere. Then people actually started connecting with it. They stopped connecting with buy groceries, order groceries, no. Then my tagline, I was like, quality groceries at Abublushi prices. So I made sure I was bombarding people with the Abublushi. So that immediately they come to my page. You make Abublushi pay. It's market, it's food stuff. You can't think about shoes unless Kanta.
Yeah.
So Abublushi. So when I started pushing that, it really worked. And now sometimes I don't want to use it, but me and Aka. They call me Aja Abublushi.
Exactly. Please, a round of applause for her. So that's how you started building your clientele base. I'm staying with you, Elsie, for just a little while. You started building your clientele base by putting your brand out there, by actually packaging the brand, designing the brand, and now unleashing it onto the people. Now, a lot of people, and especially in the Ghanaian market, it's a general thing when it comes to marketing, but in the Ghanaian market, people are kokonsa. So they may pay attention to something, patronize something just for the first few months of its existence, just because they want to know what it's all about. After that honeymoon period, how did you continue to sustain the clientele and then build upon what you already had?
So that's when now you have the people, the customers have come in. The quality of service and products that you are putting out there. Everybody, like when they go to the market, their stuff are in black poly bags. But we didn't put our stuff in black poly bags. When you come to my workplace and I see you with black poly bag, giving a black poly bag to a customer, a very serious case. So we started packaging in nets. Like, you know, these vegetable nets. Right. So our vegetables are in nets. Those that have
like
to
what
go,
we have potatoes and onions in when you go to the market.
Those that have to go into plastic bags are going into Ziplocs. And we have our stickers on it. So we're providing quality service. You call, we communicate with you. These are the days that we deliver. These are the days that we don't deliver. You have to order at this time. So then the communication and the service that we were providing. So you can't have, I've seen people start grocery delivery services after. I even saw one right before I launched mine. But they are not in service. You have to be consistent. It's very difficult. Like my job, I had to be waking up at 3 because I'm working at a TV station. So I close from work around 11, wake up at 3, go to the market. I can't employ anyone.
And this is 3 a.m. we are talking about.
Yes, 3 a.m. Go to the market, go and shop, come and package. As I'm in the Uber, I'm dressing up, fixing my wig to get to work. So there's sacrifice, but that's because you want to provide a particular service. And whatever blog or whatever they took about you, whatever they wrote about you, that meets the lady delivering, bringing ababloshi to your doorstep, or changing the face of this or that, they have to see it. Now people are coming to follow you. You've told them that you're going to, you're giving them more quality groceries at ababloshi prices. So, and more, they don't do black polythene bag there. They do clean poly bags, branded stuff. So that's how I kept my customers. So when one person comes and says, oh, okay, this is so cool, and I don't have to go to the market. It's like 5 minutes sending your list. You relax, you pay, you have to pay and relax. And then we bring
that's my kind of business.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to go to the market. And I mean, I think you have to give her a round of applause. And I'm moving on to Benjamin for now, but before that, I need you to just note this down. She spoke about sacrifice. And that's a very key thing. I'm sure Benjamin and Kezia will also talk about when they delve more deeply into their story. Sacrifice in business. In fact, in anything you do, sacrifice. She will close at 11 p.m., 12 midnight, wake up at 3, go and shop. Now sit on Uber, fix her hair, and get to work and do the graphic design job at a TV station. And you won't just sit down the whole day. You design until your eyes are watering. I know how it is. So please, just note that down. We'll come back to it. Benjamin. So you had worked under the umbrella of huge brand names. Echo House is a household name. Ago Magazine, big name. Now you say, no, me dear. These people, they are not allowing to be myself. They are blocking my shine. So I'm doing my own thing. And you reach out to your college roommate, your university roommate, and you start Lime and Honey together. How did you get your clientele? Because I imagine it would not be easy to steal or poach clientele from these big brands that you had worked with before. So how did you get your clientele, and who were you looking at? Did you have a target market in mind when you started Lime and Honey?
Yeah, so about building a clientele, one thing we did make sure we did back then in school was start freelancing like very early. So right from like level 200, I started, it was more like a freelancing agency.
You're all very serious students in school.
So yeah.
These are the real sharks. So these are the ones you need to be afraid of.
Yeah, so it was Blue Lime back then. So I started an Instagram page. And
It was blue lime.
Yeah, Blue Lime.
What's your, before you go on, what's your fascination with lime?
So I was just thinking on and looking for a brand name, and I couldn't come up with one. But I read online that it has to be, I mean, something that doesn't really relate to what you are doing. So I was just looking at random names and thinking of apple and, I mean, just random fruits. And I'm like, okay, lime is in blue, so blue lime is like
lime.
a bit disruptive. Yeah. So blue lime.
I like it. Please, a round of applause for that.
So
okay. So it was blue lime in school. You were
blue lime in school, like just me on my own freelancing in school. So I had an Instagram page, and I mean, I started getting clients from my Instagram page, even though I was like just putting on like classwork. It wasn't any client work from anyone. It was just myself giving myself a project, and then I'll put it out, right?
I mean, you were sharing what you had, really.
Yeah, I was just sharing what I had, right? So people started contacting Blue Lime, thinking it was like an actual agency or like someone who is done with school and freelancing.
It means that your work was good.
Yeah,
just say it. It's allowed. You're allowed to hype yourself. It's fine.
Try our best, yeah. So put out good work, get people to contact us online, and then from Blue Lime, that's when Echo House came in. So I mean, I stopped posting for a while, but I made sure I treated like every client as a dream client, right? So even from the 200 CD logos that I was doing it like with all my might and
as if they were paying you 10,000
exactly
CDs.
With everything I had in me. So I mean, I'll overkill the work. I'll just do my best, and I mean, most of them kept coming back, referring me to people. So the transition wasn't really difficult after Echo House, because we've already had like a taste of the freelance bit. So yeah, I mean, it was still scary, because in this case.
So you were scared, or you were nervous?
For sure.
Yeah?
It took me a while to decide to quit. I mean, it took me a while. It got to a point it was bothering me. Like I couldn't sleep. It's like, just do this. Like tomorrow, just tell them, yeah, this is the end of your journey, and then move on to what you want to do. So it was very scary, because then you need to tell your parents you are quitting your day job.
After they've sent you to school and paid your school fees.
Exactly.
Yeah, telling them that I'm quitting. There's a possibility that I'll be coming to eat your food and live in your house again.
Yeah, so.
But how did your parents take it?
Very, very, very supportive. So it's like, if that's what you really want, then go for it. And they've really been supportive throughout, even from deciding to go into visual arts and everything.
In the first place.
Yeah, it was
so you did visual arts right from high school all the way through?
So right from junior high school, I got introduced to graphic design. You're supposed to choose between graphic design and catering. So graphic design, Infantipe, visual arts, KNUST.
Oh, you're a butcher boy.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Your sister or your girlfriend, or whatever the connection with butcher and gaming is here.
Yeah, so KNUST communication design. So yeah, it was scary, but then once we decided to go on that journey, we then had to win the trust of, our new clients, because you claim you are disruptive, you claim you are storytellers, so what can you do? So we started giving ourselves in-house projects, projects that like we could put out for people to see what we are about. And from that, we actually had like real life clients. And yeah, we made sure we did our best with them, and from there they started referring us to people, and yeah, it's been good so far.
And it's been going on for a while.
Yeah,
so this was in which year?
So this was 2018, 2019.
2018, 2019.
Yes, please.
Okay, so what kinds of clients were gravitating towards you? What kinds of clients were you attracting? And I'm asking this because a lot of individuals in Ghana and then brands on a meta scale are not very adventurous.
Yeah.
You know, we like to play it safe because we are not sure how people will receive us. So what kinds of people were coming to you? You're talking about disruptive storytelling.
Yeah.
And definitely, I'm sure there are a few people with red hair like mine, you know, who were walking to you. But generally, what kinds of brands were you attracting?
So from the beginning, it was mostly startups.
Okay.
Because
Because they needed that.
They needed that. They were like fresh in the market and they wanted like a good push. So, I mean, we're working with startups to take them to a new level. So mostly startups. But from the work with startups, we started getting like already existing, let's say, big brands who were, I mean, ready to also embark.
Like who?
So we've had Complete Pharma. We've done
That's a
some
big
work.
one.
Yeah, that's good. So with Complete Pharma, we did a rebranding, the whole rebranding structure for Complete Pharma. We're also getting lots of international clients. So that's also something that was like very encouraging for us because we weren't limited by, I mean, the four walls of these countries. Like we had work from outside, like we had Lucid Wine, which is like a wine company in California. And to us, it was like huge because
They came all the way to Ghana.
And it was, it's like they were really impressed with what we were doing. So like in-house, we were really confused because we felt like we were just doing okay work. But they were also giving us praise, I mean, to like a higher level. So it gave us the boost to actually keep going with what we were doing. So.
Please, a round of applause. Before I move back to Kezia, Benjamin, I just want to find out from you. So, I mean, you were doing all this, but were you doing it from your rooms? Did you have an office? What kind of equipment? Because now you are getting it. It's no longer just freelance work, where you can even decide, Charlie, today I get coursework, so I'm not going to take this job. This one now you need to live off of it. You finish school. There's no bubble anymore.
Yeah.
You went to work, and now you can't go and tell your parents, actually, the thing, no, I'm doing it today, I'm not doing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So did you have an office? Did you have to invest in more equipment, software, and how did you get that money?
So fortunately
Because
for
your business is an expensive one.
Yeah, but fortunately for us, I mean, with what we do, all you need is a laptop and a dream, basically.
Laptop and a dream, please, clap for that. All you need is a laptop,
It's a laptop and a dream. So for, I mean, for the first year, I was working from my home. My partner was working from his home. We didn't have any meeting place.
So when COVID came, you already were like...
We're already running like remote service throughout. With work we couldn't do, we had to outsource work that we couldn't do. Till we had the opportunity.
Who are you outsourcing to?
To people in our network. So that's also like very important. You need to make sure, I mean, we do joke around with our friends and play with them a lot, but funny enough, everyone is taking note of what your abilities are and what you can do. So it gets to a point where we have to get serious, and then you know that, oh, I know this guy, I know this guy. So it wasn't all fun and games back then. We were taking note of the people who were good at their field. So yeah, we do outsource. We're outsourcing to people that, I mean, we knew were good in their field. So
Brilliant.
yeah,
Brilliant.
It started in our rooms, and currently we have a home office. So that's what we are working with at the moment.
So do you and your business partner live in the same house, or
Yeah.
Okay, so you've rented or you've bought?
So no, we haven't bought.
Okay. No, but you will buy.
Soon.
Oh, say okay, so
Yeah.
you've rented, so you
Soon,
live
so-
together and then you work from
Yeah.
home.
So yeah, we've rented.
You guys are really disruptive.
Trying our best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 3-bedroom, so
Okay.
we've used the whole, I mean, the whole place is basically an office, and we have our rooms
Your
each, so converted another room into an office, so it's like the hall, the dining, everywhere is an office. So yeah, that's what we're
Please,
working with.
a round of applause for that smart young man. And so just a few things to know from him. You have to build a network. So don't just have friends, qua. Make friends who you can do business with when it comes down to it. I think that's very important. And We say a lot again in business circles in Ghana that people don't like to do partnerships. We want to keep all the money and all the glory to ourselves. So I also find it very laudable that you and your partner, at times when you can't handle the work, you pass it on to someone else. Some people will do it and then they'll fill the client.
Yeah.
But you want to keep your clients at the forefront of things. Think about the client first. So if you can't do the job, you pass it on to someone who has a skill that they need. I think you need to note that down. And then also, the sacrifice of living with your business partner and then having the bulk of the space you're living in be your office and you sleep in the rooms. I think that's also something that you need to note down and something that is very commendable because you found a model that works for you, that's low cost, but that allows your business to thrive. So another round of applause for Benjamin. Kezia. Now, when you're at Wesley Girls High School, it was almost clear who the beneficiaries of your charity work would be. You had these children coming to your pantry, your kitchen in school, stealing food. You would step out into the community around you. You saw the poverty and you knew you needed to do something about it. You come home on vacation, go to a shaman, wherever there's a feeling of destitution, you're there. Yeah. But now you have an NGO. It's no longer just a group of friends and young people who care, who are doing something good. Now it's business. I mean, NGO, yes, we say non-profit and all that, but it's still business. Yeah. Because now you're looking for donors, you're looking for partners. How did you build so first of all, find the people that need to benefit from what you're doing. How did the model change? And then secondly, how do you get people to partner you? Where do you get your funding from? Because now you're doing scholarships and whatnot, supporting over 2,000 children. How did you get to that point?
Okay. And let me just make a correction that we are not currently supporting 2,000 children, but I mean the past.
Yes, of course, definitely.
Yes. Well, for the future Ghana, we are
and that's
just
still a lot. So some people have not even supported one child before. So it's no mean feat.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not. So it's two things, two driving forces. It's passion and then purpose. Passion and purpose.
Note that down. Passion and purpose.
Yes. But, you know, I was lucky, I would say lucky or blessed to have people around me who believed in my vision, who believed in what I wanted to do at that time. That's my friends who were around me, because imagine they mixed the creams and they were saying for the future, and I said charity, like,
what are you talking about?
I mean, I would just, but even coming home and friends of friends coming together say, we want to be part of it and all. I mean, up to today, some of them are still part of us. We call them the pioneers. Of course, we've lost some along the way, uni and everything. So
life
people
happens.
Yeah. But even today, my assistant from, at that time, he was in Boche. He's here, Aaron, to support
Aaron, where are you? Hi, Aaron. Please clap for him. For two reasons. For supporting her, but also a man supporting a female-led non-profit. That's something that you need to clap for. Thank you, Aaron. Your fellow Boche boy is here.
So Aaron is my assistant. I mean, Aaron, I'm always crying on him. Aaron, we have to do this. This is not working. No, that kind of thing. So when you have the people around you support you and help you, it makes it easier and, yes. So apart from that, I have other people on our team who also have certain talents or skills that they bring on board. For example, Derek, who is the graphic designer. At the time we're in high school, he was the one who designed our logo. He's the one who designed everything that we need to share, the flyers and all. So Derek is also extremely good. According to everybody's strengths, we put them, we gave them a role, yes. So up till now, they are still there and we are doing what we ought to do. What's the next thing?
Yeah, so I was asking, so now, when you're in school, it was pretty easy to see who you needed to support. Mm-hmm. But now that you have a full-fledged non-profit, how are you finding the people that need you?
Yes. Yeah. Well, for now, we've mostly dwelled on recommendation. Okay. Someone will say, I know this person or this single mother who is struggling to take care of her child, and this child is really good, so if you can help, please come and help, or come and see the child and see if you can help, so that we can conclude on something. So at the beginning of this year, my church member reached out to me to say, Kezia, I know this woman who, she was with us in the church, but now she is no longer here, and she has abandoned her little child with the grandmother in the area. So I think that you should go and see the child. I know you want to do something like that, like helping children, and see how best you can help the little girl. So her name is Elizabeth. I went there to see her at her grandmother's house. In fact, on the day I went there, she was roaming, as in she's 3 years old and she's already all over the place. And I felt, oh, Elizabeth is staying with her grandmother. She's not even going to school. Her father wasn't around. Basically, nobody to help her. And this person has a bright future. For the future Ghana, we say everybody has a gift, and it takes effort to bring that gift out, polish it for the benefit of the society. So everybody has that special thing that when it comes out, mind-blowing. So we said, we'll take Elizabeth to school, and then once we take her to school, we can help her develop her strengths. Later, when we find out what she really wants to do, we can also put her somewhere else. But what makes what we do unique is, most of the time, when we find the children, we try to create stories. This is Elizabeth, this is where she's from, this is what, you know. And then when we put the stories out there, overwhelming support. So for me, I'm very active on Twitter as Favorite Smile, that's my handle, and Esiedua. So when I put the story out there, it blew up. People were donating all sorts of things, you know, shoes. Someone even paid her fees forward and all. So we didn't even have to pay fees from our coffers, even though that's what we initially planned to do. Yes, so that has been how we've done it, the recommendation. Recently, my mom also recommended her worker's son to me. She said her worker is always struggling with the children. There are 3. She's a single mother, and the boy, I think that the boy that was recommended to us has a different father from the other 2, and he's in Takrady. But the one that, the man that the woman is staying with has been abusing him because it's not, he is not his son. Yes, and the very fascinating thing about that boy is he's able to make he's able to make toy cars from wood. He'll put a battery in it and it will start moving.
How old is he?
He's 9 years old. Yes.
That's a budding engineer.
Yes. So when my mother told me, I said, okay, most of the time, I don't even know where I'm going to get the help from. But at least, well, so far, how we've been creating funds within our group is to pay dues, even paying dues. And then sometimes we get support from other people, say, okay, I want to give you this every month.
How much do you pay? Like, what's the structure of your dues?
When we were in high school, we were paying dues of 30 cedis a term.
Okay.
And
that's a lot for a high school student. See the sacrifice.
Yes, sacrifice. 30 cedis a term.
Okay.
But now we are paying 10 cedis a month.
Okay.
So it's not...
So about 120 cedis a year.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. But we had other people come to say, I want to give you this amount every month. We call them stakeholders. We try to keep them involved in what we do by giving them newsletters and informing them of what we do.
So how did these stakeholders find you, or how did you find them?
Through social media. Like I said, the stories do amazing. Anyway, I was on Prince's story. Prince is the young boy who makes the toy cars from wood. So I went to see Prince, and he made the toy car from wood right in front of me. I videoed it, and then I put it out there. I said, Prince has the ability to become an engineer. He can, make it in this field. And I know he's young, but I'm looking for an opportunity for him to start something even as he's young, so that he grows in it, right? And then later on, I think my team members started mentioning we should try Ashesi University and then other universities, see if they would like to pick him. So we're just mentioning them, at Ashesi University, can you help us, And then we were lucky. So Ashesi came to my DMs to say, we've seen Prince, we love what he's doing, and one of our teachers or one of our lecturers has an academy for robotics. So bring Prince, and we're going to give him a full scholarship. Come to Ashesi for a tour. I mean, on that day, it was so beautiful. I went with Prince and his mother to Ashesi on a tour. We concluded everything. he's got a full scholarship to study with assistant robotics. Every weekend he goes to class, and his improvements, I think he's been there for about 6 weeks, and his improvement is massive. Just last week he was making walking robots already. So he's really, really good. Yes. And that's what really keeps us going, because when you see the results of what you're doing, it's totally inspiring.
I can see
and
how
we
your
love
face just lights up when you talk about what you're doing.
and we love to do it. We love to do it. But it's not easy.
Can't be.
You see what she was saying about sacrifice. Look, I have to sometimes be somewhere while I have a class. So lucky enough,
And
after
you're a
COVID,
law student.
I'm a law student. After COVID, we were having classes online. So there are times when this year especially, we were going to launch our flagship project, which I said I'll talk about later. And I had to be at different places all the time, trying to find a venue for the plays, getting sponsors, sharing the invitation letters. I'll be in the Uber and I'll be on my phone in the class. But something will come up and I'll just clear the class and go in, But during this period, I had the best grades ever. Yes, this year I had the best grades ever. And I'm like, I feel like it's because I realized that I don't have the time. So when I'm taking the book, I know that this is the time that I have.
That's all
for this.
you
I have
and
to
you must
concentrate on
utilize
this.
it.
And most of my team members are also in school. Like I said, we make that sacrifice. You have to come. Sometimes Aaron will be like, "Okay, at this time we have a project, so we can't make it, those things." Or he'll even say, "I'm coming." I'm like, "You're lying," and he'll be there. Our beneficiaries are wireless like this. Sometimes something happens and you have to show up. For example, little David. He is also, David is 6 years old, and then his father passed. His mother is very sick. She has a chronic disease. And so because of that, she's not able to work, and she's not able to take care of him. So for David too, was by recommendation that the headmistress told us about David. And we took him up, we paid his fees, we were trying to help him, extra classes and all of that. But it got to a point where the woman, this was just last month, the woman was saying that, she's really, the sickness is getting worse, so she wants to go to the north. And she's taking David along. And I was very sad. I mean, I remember on that day, one of my team members called Emmanuel, was like, "Hey, I could see that you're about to cry." I'm like, we're so attached to the children, right? And to know that he was going to the north, I felt like, is there another way that we can help David to at least stay in Accra for his mother to go and come back and all? But it didn't even work. So as I speak to you, as I speak to you, David is in the north. We don't even know when he's going to come back, but at least I'm hopeful that very soon he'll be back with his mom, because we tried to communicate with her. She says she's getting better. But that's the sacrifice in what I'm saying, because that day I didn't even know I was going to La Wireless, but because I know that David is traveling or something's going to happen that will bring an end to what we want to do for David, I had to show up. And there are times when I'm also not even feeling well, but I have to wake up and be there for the children, And then there's also hard work. Sometimes you have to think through ideas, like how you want to implement a certain idea, like this, our flagship project, how you want to implement it. And then dedication, commitment. Those are really key in what we do. Yes.
Round of applause. Are you inspired? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching us or you're just joining us, you missed a bit, but it's fine. We'll forgive you. You learned something. And of course, we're broadcasting live right now on the Facebook and YouTube pages or YouTube accounts of Ahaspera and MTN. This is the MTN Pulse Just Be series. And we're talking about, how it's important, one, to build a brand, but secondly, to develop a trusted brand. And, doing that for your startup or your nonprofit. And we have just the people. I'm sure you agree, those of you here, those of you who've been watching, do you agree? These are just the people to tell us how to do it. Oh, but you people. I'm putting my whole heart into this. Hey, your yeses. Are they not the people? Yeah. Are you inspired? Okay, a round of applause for that. Okay, so now let's talk about, there are bits and pieces of things that have popped up, like quality control and whatever, especially Adra Bubulushi. She's spoken a lot about controlling the quality. Kezia, to some extent, too, from her angle, because your venture is very unique because it's a non-profit, but controlling the quality of the things that you give to the students. For example, I mean, mentioning Ashesi and all those schools, you knew the kind of quality you wanted to give to them. It's not just about taking a lump sum of money, going to dump it in somebody's hands, and then seeing what happens. Or just walking to some school somewhere or some place and saying, oh, there's this child, take the person. You knew the quality you wanted, and I believe that's also a level of quality control, right? But let's talk about pricing. Ajo Agbogboshi, you've promised people quality groceries at Agbogboshi prices, but the branding, no, is not necessarily Agbogboshi branding. So how are you making sure that your overhead costs, all those things, are not influencing price hikes so that it affects what you've promised your clients? How are you doing that?
So, I'm actually having this series on my Instagram page which talks about mistakes I made this year. So around last month, I felt like I've failed. This year, I've failed. Because the money I wanted to see in my account and what I wanted to do, I've not done it. And you know, the first thing, that's when I did my reflection and all that, I realized it was pricing. So initially, things were going well. Pricing is very key. You have to factor the cost of your brand, your products, and all that. So it means that as a service like Big Sam's, you have to
hang on. Did you hear that? You have to factor the cost of your brand. Very important thing to note. Before the product, the brand also has a price. So.
Yes.
Yes.
The stickers that you because in the market, they just put it in a poly bag. But for you, you are putting them in Ziplocs. Ziplocs are more expensive than regular Olunka rubber. The bag, the shopping bag that you're putting the stuff in, the carton boxes that you're putting the stuff in, they are way expensive than the other ones. So it means you have to make sure you are getting your products at wholesale, deep wholesale. So that when you add everything, your pricing will still be competitive. And that's one advantage to us. When you shop from Big Sam's, you realize that after all the things that you are getting, after the branding and everything, when you go to the market, you realize that the prices are the same. And when you go to the market, then the under, chaka chaka.
Yes.
But Big Sam's, I can't come and bring you that. It's a brand, so I have to take out the correct ones and deliver to you. But why did I say that this year? I realized that the reason why I was feeling I failed, one was pricing. This year, foodstuff prices have gone up to 100%. Some of them 200%. It's a big deal, especially from June to December. Beans, gobe. Now me, I used to buy gobe 2 cedis, gobe 1 cedi, cocoa 2 cedis. Now I have to buy gobe 3 cedis, gobe 2 cedis, cocoa 3 cedis. How? Gobe, come on, Gobe. Take. Gobe is a big deal. That's because beans is no more 3 cedis a cup again. It's 6 cedis, 4 cedis, 5 cedis, depending on the type that you want. And we didn't factor that.
Yeah, this is a cup, margarine tin.
The cup, yes.
This is a small one. Not even Olunka. I'm not talking about Olunka.
And we were thinking, Big Sam's, the Agbogboshi prices, my team and I. No, we still have to make sure the prices are okay. We still have to make sure. And it was killing us. And this year is the year that we came up with brilliant, marketing ideas. We have deals of the week. You actually get a lot of things at very discounted prices. And it was selling. We have meal bundles that you can order for Banku and Okro bundle. And it has everything prepared. The okro is chopped, ayoyo is baked, wele is cleaned, momone, palm oil, kondo and cassava dough. Everything is arranged in a nice box for you.
So when you just have to cook it.
Receive it now, you just have to cook. And it serves four people. So we came up with all these ideas and they were selling, but it was the pricing. We're selling them at lower prices, thinking that, people are buying it, not knowing we're not making anything from the product. Some of them were even running at a loss. So pricing, you have to factor a lot of things. The past 3 weeks, I don't sleep. I'll stay up and calculate condo, cassava dough, everything. Calculate them. Make sure that I'm getting the margin and making sure, because see, it's not just about me. Now, I used to, it was just me, but now I'm paying people. And imagine you not being able to pay someone and telling them, say, hey, packaging one yen, sister. You've not paid me. So you have to factor all that. Now you are renting. You are paying utility bills. It's not like when we were home, when I will patch, my father will pay the bill, everything. But it's not like that anymore. So pricing, you have to factor a lot of things. If you are starting a business, I beg you, it's very, very important. See, I didn't know how important this was till a month ago when I realized my business was in a very serious situation. So please, make sure the sticker you are printing, the flyer you are printing, the box or the hamper, whatever you are putting your package in, that shopping bag, which is 1 CD, find a way to do it. I don't say that after that, when bucket of tomatoes, you go and price it 50 Ghana. No one will buy. But make sure you do it like very well, because pricing, see, I'm writing a whole thing about this because it really affected my business. The past 3 months has been terrible I won't lie. My friends think I'm in the best state. I'm doing MTN things. As I'm sitting here, I have a Saturday market, like an event that we do. People come and shop. It's going on right now. I had to wake up, come and set up everything before I got here. I'm doing all this and people see it as, she has reached.
Yeah.
But deep down my account, red light. Red light. Because I didn't work on my pricing. So pricing, in fact, you can follow me, slide into my DM. Let's see, I don't want to cry. That thing, the pricing has really affected me. So please, factor every single thing. Factor your I told my staff now, there's a plot. If you use one, be at 50 pesos. So if you don't know, and because we're not thinking about that. So if you put one Ziploc on the floor, not essay, 50 pesos. So factor all that in pricing, please. Your utility bills, the cost. If you are renting a place, try to break it down. A day, how much does it cost to rent this place? I realized that renting my place a day costs about 20-something cedis, 27 cedis. So you factor that. We work with Kayaye. Now the Kayaye, they don't take 5 cedis again. 20 Ghana.
Yeah,
it's a factor all that.
Why?
Yes.
You also have to
put all that. We had service charges. But we were so low. See, we will shop for you 200 cedis, then we'll charge you 5 cedis for the service. One kasa, fine. Like I go to the market for you, pay Kayaye and everything, then the service is 5 cedis. It wasn't cool. So we had to sit back. In fact, my people didn't understand, but me, the business was on my head. So I had to sit back, factor all that, and realize that this is the problem, pricing.
So, Adra, have you considered, based on your experience, and perhaps you don't have the money to hire auditors or accountants or somebody whose job it is to pay attention to the figures, but have you spoken to anybody who may be able to help you in that regard?
Yeah. So before this year, I was trying to do everything myself because we couldn't afford. But I couldn't keep up to date with the accounts. So I hired a part-time account person who comes in. So we do the regular records and everything. Then at the end of the week, he comes to check the books. So, that's very helpful. That's actually what made us see that our profit margins were going down.
Okay. So it's this person coming in and helped you to see.
Because we realized that we're doing this amount. Suddenly, we are not doing that. And it's coming very, very, very low. Like it was getting low. So keeping records help you. And it helps you know your peak seasons. The seasons that you don't really sell a lot. And then you research and realize that maybe it's because of this. And there are seasons. I know for us, people eat all the time. So Christmas, even though it's a peak season, but we have months in the year too that things really go well. When the kids are going to school, around August
there.
parents don't buy things. Oh my, wild. If they'll buy a car, Milo, Nido, because provisions, yes. So you have to keep records, and it will help you know how to
identify the trends and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, a round of applause for our drag. Yeah. Benjamin, your model is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very easy for people to sit down and think, oh, as for the graphics designers, they're these people, they have laptops, all they need is, you know, their skill, and that's it. So why should they charge us 1,000 cities? Why should they charge us 2,000 cities? Very easy for people to think that. In Adra's case, it's a little, you know there's TNT involved.
Yeah.
Like she mentioned, the car, you're buying products. But in your case, people think, oh, it's just a service.
Yeah.
Why do you have to rack it up? Your case, too, it's a little easy to see because definitely you need money to do the things you're doing to make the impact. So how do you handle your pricing? And what are some of the challenges that you faced?
Yeah, so as you said, it's very challenging to actually mention 5-6 figures for design works because people feel like that's our main challenge because people feel like it's visual and everyone feels they can do it.
Yeah, just sitting at home designing something, you said 10,000, why?
And because like it's very easy to, get software courses and everything, people feel like I can do this, so why are you charging me this much? So we try our best to actually let them see the value of what we are going to provide, right? So we are either charging based on value or based on time, but we hardly do time, so mostly based on value, and we make sure that our rate cards.
Because if you do time in Ghana, people may not be able to afford it.
Yeah, people wouldn't be able to afford it, and then they wouldn't, understand, or it will be a whole show altogether.
No, I understand, because when I moderate events, for example, when I get to travel abroad and I moderate stuff, I charge per hour.
Exactly.
I can't do that in Ghana because the economy is not ready for that. So you need to, again, pay attention to your local context. So in Adra's case, she paid attention to that Google she thing.
Yeah.
You paid attention to factors like that. And then, of course, Kezia, looking at the specific poverty situation we have in Ghana, there are certain things you've had to pay attention to. But how have you, Benjamin, back to you, dealt with that? How have you got your clients to understand that I went to school.
Yeah.
From JHS, I did visual arts, or I did graphics design.
Yeah.
SHS, I did visual arts. I have a degree in this thing. I've worked with some of the biggest brands. I've earned I've earned the right to charge you what I'm worth.
Yeah.
How have you managed to get people to see that and still stick with you?
Yeah, so first of all, we make sure we do, a proper breakdown with our rate cards. So with whatever figure we are charging, we make sure you know what you are going to get at the end of each project. There's a line. And also we make sure
Please, are you taking notes? So don't just go and say 15,000. No, explain what goes into that.
Yeah, what goes into that. They need to see what their money is going into. And currently we are actually charging more for the thought process than the design work. So we let people know, it's a whole lot of work coming up with ideas, right? So, you need to pay for our thinking as well. And also we make sure we show them like case studies of projects that we've done. So that actually hypes them or gives them, the confidence
allows them to
trust you to deliver what you say you can deliver, right? So if I should send you a rate card for, brand identity with a 5-figure number, they usually ask to see references of works that you've done before and everything, and that actually cools them down. Like after they get to see like a case study of where you took the project from and where it landed, it actually cools them down, and now they've built that trust to actually give you their money to deliver. So
okay, so Benjamin, I'm going to stay with you, and especially because what you do is it seems simple again, but it's very technical.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you charge people for your thought processes, the thinking that goes into the work, and we were all laughing, but it's not just about thinking. What are some of the things that you do once a client comes to you, sits down with you, lets you know this is what I'm looking at doing. This is what I want to achieve with my brand or with my communication plan or whatever it is. From that point to the points where you actually get to designing, what are some of the things that you do? I want everybody here and those of us, of course, watching online to understand what goes into your work.
Yeah.
So that you also don't just get up and say, yeah, me too, I'm going to do some design course and I'll do. No.
Yeah. So I think the challenge with the graphic design community now is most people have become order takers. So they just get a call, oh, I want a logo for my brand, I'm selling shoes.
Takers.
I'm selling shoes and, oh, okay, I'll charge you this, and they get right into the work, right? Which is very wrong for a professional, because you can't go to the hospital with a headache and then tell the doctor, I know myself and I know this is malaria, so I'm taking malaria tablets. It doesn't work that way, right? So we try our best to, first of all, understand the problem that the client is coming with. And mostly that's the challenge. Some people feel like they already know what they want and that's what's going to solve their problem. But we do have like discovery sessions where we get to know more about their business, about their problems and where they want to get to. After discovery, we go into strategy. So at the end or before we get to design, they get to know what the actual problem is, right? So someone might come to you that, oh, my logo is old, I want to change it, people are not interacting with my brand. But the problem could just be from a bad UI on your website, right? So after discovery, after strategy, we get to know that. We get to know where the problem is coming from, and then we target that with design.
So you're like doctors for brands, basically.
Yes, yes, basically.
Do you think of yourself that way sometimes?
Yeah, we do think of ourselves that way, because, I mean, people do step a lot on the visual designers. So, yeah, we try our best to be professional, and we realize that once you let them know what you are doing and you let them understand how it works, they actually give you the respect of a professional. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Benjamin, I have a question for you. So, I mean, you've described a lot of things and explained a lot of things for what you do, and clearly, your clients appreciate your open approach with them, your honesty as well, and letting them know that. Because I mean, if I were your client and I came to you, and you're able to tell me, look, madam, the idea you have in your head is not going to work for your brand, I'll sit down and listen to you, because even the sheer audacity to tell me that somebody who's coming to pay you will make me realize that you know what you're talking about, right? But I want to find out from you, when it comes to the, you know, putting a price on the brand Lime and Honey now, because you've come a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not just about you and your business partner, right? Putting a price on that. There are so many things that, again, go into what you do. And sometimes it's difficult to, you know, sort of even price the individual elements. So how do you know when you're overpricing or underpricing? And I'm asking this because I'm sure there are a lot of people who may like to go into your line of business, but they're struggling with that. How do I know I'm underpricing myself, underselling myself? How do I know I'm overdoing it? What are the fine lines?
Yeah, so what we do in-house to check the fine line is when you get more people coming to you for design work and they don't complain about the price, we feel in-house that that's a pretty bad thing. Not everyone should be able to afford you. That's something you should know. You shouldn't be for everyone. As a business, you need to have your target market. So once we have lots of people coming to us for a particular project or price, we feel there's something wrong with that.
You need to start looking at it twice.
Yeah, we try to get a fine line of, oh, that's too expensive, I can't work with you guys, good. And then, oh, that's great, I can do it. And once we have that balance, not lots of people saying no to your price, but I mean a moderate number of people saying yes to our price, that's good for us, because we are not really chasing after the quantity. We want to do like very quality work. So, I mean, yeah, big work and then.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Round of applause, round of applause. Okay. Kezia, we're going to be wrapping this up soon, but Kezia, this is for you, and I'll do the round, but not a long answer, very briefly. You've spoken a lot about social media, the internet, putting stories out there, and then people responding to that so that you can do your work and do it effectively. So digital marketing, for you as somebody who runs an NGO, non-profit, how important has that been? Okay, so I mean, you've touched on it, but just how important has it been?
It's very important because you need to show people what you're doing with the little you have, so that you say, with what I have, I've been able to take David to school, or Elizabeth is in school. So please give me more so that I can help more Davids and Elizabeths. Yes, so that's why it's important to show what you're doing. Accountability. Let's see what you've done with the money we gave you. And that also helps them to trust you. Because for me, on social media, even when someone who doesn't know me or doesn't know my the things that I've been doing for the children in my team comes to attack me, sort of, necessarily. Maybe I am trying to promote, say, a GoFundMe and come and say, these people cry, they will come and take your money, they won't use, I have people actually go to defend me, like, have you seen what she's doing? Have you gone through it to know before you come to say, yeah, that's because they trust my team and they trust what we've been doing. Some of them have actually been involved and have seen what we are doing with the children. So that's what digital marketing helps us to do, to show the world what we can do.
To the extent that after a while, you don't even have to market yourself. Your clients will market you.
Yes, because you get known. Because you get known. And then when it happens like that, when someone says, this month I have this amount of money, I want to pay tithe to an organization. They say, oh, give it for the future. So we've had people come to give us their tithe and stuff like that.
Wow.
Wow. Through digital marketing too, we're able to connect to other people around the world. My cousin actually recommended another charity in the UK that they make rucksacks and fill it up with stationery. And then they added hygiene kits because of COVID. And they ship it to other countries. But they have partners in Ghana called Trashy Bags. So the Trashy Bags
Trashy Bags.
Yes, they stock up the bags with the stationery and then the hygiene kit. So we showed them what we've been doing in Ghana since 2016. And then they said, oh, you know what, this is really nice and we'd like to do it with you. So we will give Trashy Bags 100 bags, to fill up with the stationery and then the hygiene kits, pick it up, and then you distribute. So that's how we got a partnership with School in a Bag in the UK through digital marketing.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Please,
and other partnerships like the one with YouthMap. YouthMap, they are more into mentoring. And so because they know that we are young and we are still in school and all, they just want to help us to really know what we are doing. Of course, we've been able to draw out our target group, that's children, and how we want to get funding. That's through paying of dues and getting people to give us money monthly, grants, which we are now earnestly working on, because we feel like, okay, now we've got to a point where our portfolio is solid, and if we go out there, we can show what we have done to get more help from people abroad or those who are giving grants. So currently, we are working on the For the Future Village, and that's
your big project?
That's our big project, the flagship project. And we launched it this year because throughout helping the children, we noticed that there's a fundamental problem of environment. That's where they come from. And it makes what we do a bit difficult because once you're trying to help the child through school and they go home, they don't even have anybody to help them with their homework because their parents can't even understand what they're supposed to do. And apart from that too, the parental control is really low. Like they'll go home, be roaming, and we felt like that's not really helping. Because even though you try to tell the parents that, look, this thing we are trying to do is really good, your child will, become a better person and all, they still don't really get it. And so playing their parts is a bit difficult for them. We feel like this facility, not necessarily taking them away from their parents, but through the facility, we can keep an eye on them and nurture them. Their parents can visit them And then they can also go home sometimes, but we'll keep them till they're like 18 and can fend for themselves, then they can go
So
out.
sort of like a boot camp,
Yes, a
foster home
a
kind
home.
of thing.
But this
not
home
really.
is, yes, this kind of home is different.
Just for training.
Because they'll be trained, nurtured according to their strengths and talents. They are not going to be even kept on the facility premises 247, because they are still allowed to go to school outside, but just that they still come home where they have tutors to help them through their homework. And then we have resource persons come around to help them develop their strengths and talents. So that's what we've been working on for the past like 5 months. So we launched it in October.
And digital marketing is helping to...
Totally. Totally.
Wow. A round of applause for that. Okay, still wrapping this up, but I mean, you have spoken a lot about even finding the idea on the internet, you know, but how do you think, and very briefly, digital marketing has amplified your business, you know,
So
in a unique way?
yeah, I don't think when I started working, when I started Big Sums and I was working at GH1, I wasn't getting the time to go office, like move from one office or move to people, because I was busy. So the internet held me. There was one time I had to go and speak about my business somewhere, and I was at work. You know, it's not right for you to leave work. You are paid there. I had to take my t-shirt, come and hide somewhere, wear my t-shirt, go and speak, then take off the t-shirt again and come and sit at work like nothing has happened.
So she's not encouraging you to do that.
But I'm not, yes, I always say that. It's a very bad thing to do. And if there wasn't anything like Instagram, Facebook, it means that I would have to keep doing that, which is wrong. But thanks to Instagram, Facebook, and all that, you can post there. And I would say that most of my client base have come from Instagram, have come from Facebook. Digital marketing, it's very important. If we meet people and they say, I don't know how to go to Instagram, or oh no, I'm shy, I don't want people to see me. There are some brands that you can operate without people seeing you. But what I've observed is, if I post on my page for some time, and I post a video of me making noise small about something we've introduced, you will see the way people will come and talk about it. Oh, Ajua, this, that. Then I'll go and hide small. I'm not saying every day let people see you, but digital marketing is very important. Now, that's what we have. We barely see trucks moving around, making noise. Those times, they'll dance, then they'll talk about their products.
The
But
floats.
yes, people actually pay to sponsor ads and pay our man here to do that for them than to let people move around. You get it? So you have to get to know more. If you're going to start a business, I don't see why you shouldn't be on Instagram, you shouldn't be on Facebook, you shouldn't be on Twitter. I don't see why you shouldn't be there. But get to know about it. And one thing about digital marketing too, the quality. You have to make sure that what you are putting there will make people believe you and see, because we have scammers a lot.
Plenty.
But yes, but the quality of information you put out there will make people believe you. As a graphic designer, fortunately, my husband is also a graphic designer. So when it comes to the things we do for Big Sums, there's no mediocre work. We make sure that we are communicating right, good pictures, clean your camera, and take the picture well. Sometimes it's not that you don't know how to take pictures, the camera, clean it, and take good pictures. And that's when you realize that it's selling. Because how someone will see the tomatoes, like, go to Big Sam's, go and check. You see how I've taken the tomatoes. You feel like taking the tomatoes and chewing it. But it's not like that. So, yeah, digital marketing is good, but the content you are putting on there, on your page, on your platforms, you don't just carry because a particular meme is trending. Then you also go and put it on your page. Why? Put it on your personal page, but your business page, manage it as such. Let people respect the page, and it will translate into respecting you and all that. You don't just put any kind of picture over there. So digital marketing is very important. It has helped my business, but there are lots of things that you have to consider and do before, like while you are managing your business online. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. So digital marketing is not just about being on social media. It's proper curated marketing, right? Wonderful. And you, dear, you are the expert. So just talk to us. 2 minutes, digital marketing. Crash course, super crash course.
So yeah, one important thing we all have to know is without the digital world, we are all limited to the space we find ourselves in, right? So there's no reason why you should frown on digital marketing or spending more. There's nothing wrong with spending more time on social media or any other digital platform. It's about what you are doing on there, right? So you have to make sure you treat it as a great storytelling tool, as she said. It's very important that you tell your story anytime you find yourself on like your social or digital pages, because we could all be selling tomatoes, but her story will be different from my story, and I might be compelled to go with her story and buy her tomatoes just based on the fact that she's dressed as an Abobloshi woman, right? So a very important tool for storytelling. Obviously, yeah, there are a number of things you have to consider if you want to, go deep into digital marketing, which we can't, really mention everything here. But yeah, you need to make sure the content you put out there is either informative, educational, or it could be entertaining, right? But use it as a tool to win the hearts of your target market, right? So yeah, I think that's the little bit I
Okay,
consider.
just a quick question for you. You know, a lot of people tend to focus on followers
Yeah.
or subscribers on social media, but don't necessarily look at the metrics in the background and how people are engaging with the content. What would you say about that?
So
I know it's a whole lecture, but just take away for us.
yeah, so these digital tools have made it easy for us to know the metrics, know who is engaging with your page, know whether you're having more males, females. There's a whole lot going on there. So from your own background study, you should know the kind of target you want to, the kind of market you want to target. And once you have that in mind, you could at least just check these metrics like once in a while. With Instagram, you can just go to your insights, see who is interacting with your post. If you're from your homework, you want to target more men than women, and you find out that there are lots of women on your interacting with your post or your artworks, then you should know there's a bit of work to do here and there. So yeah, that's just do your homework and just cross-check with whatever analytics these platforms are giving you, and then you can build up from there. But followers, you shouldn't really take so much, you shouldn't really make a big deal about. What you need is actually loyal followers or loyal fans, right? So you could have 10,000 followers, and you realize that maybe in the whole year, maybe just 2 people will actually recommend you to someone or mention your name, even in an environment that will help you build your business. So you should consider building loyal followers instead. So if you have 10 people that they are ready to die for you, they're ready to share your content every day, they're ready to put you out there, that's way better than having 100 people who are just, watching and moving. So.
Okay, thank you. A round of applause for these lovely people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so at this point, can I take some questions? Yeah. Okay, so let me see. There are some questions on the screen. So Shirasaki says, amazing stories by each of the panelists, a good balance of highs and lows. My question to all 3 panelists, how do you deal with the low seasons in your respective areas? And how do you get back on track? So Casey, I'll start with you.
Well, in running FTF, I would say that a low season could be a time where you're not getting people to say, redeem their pledges or pay their dues and all. And so when it gets to that time, we, at FTF, at least we have, what's it called? As in our bank accounts, we try to keep it at a certain point where we don't go below it. So when we are at the point where people are not giving us money, we can still pick up from there. But what I've also really, what we have utilized that has helped us very well is partnerships. Because through partnerships, you can tap into someone else's resources to still do what you have to do. Because, for example, the School in the Bag people are literally giving us stuff that we would have had to pay for, you know, if we hadn't gone to a partnership with them. And then I didn't mention, but the WIT schools, I reached out to this woman who owns the WIT schools. Her name is Miss P, and I told her about what we are doing with the children. And then she gave us an opportunity to bring some of them to her school for a summer camp, which would have had to pay for. Yes, so in such circumstances, you have to just find other means to still keep it running without necessarily having to spend. Okay. I think that's the only time that we have a low season. I can't really think of any other.
Okay. Wonderful. And Benjamin, what about you?
Yes,
when it comes to your low times, you know, how do you pick yourself back up? How do you move?
Yeah, so I think we've come to a realization that in life there are always going to be lows and highs. So we make sure when we are in the lows, we make good use of the lows. So if you are freelancing and for weeks or for months, no one has ever contacted you for any work, I mean, that could be a period for you to build up on your craft. You could take some courses, you could learn. So, I mean, we just try our best to make use of our lows. So if we do have a low in-house, what we do is to work on in-house projects, which for us is a bit more fun than client projects with restrictions. So always like make use of the lows, that's what I'll say.
Brilliant. Aja Bubush.
So for me, one thing is I don't like blaming people for stuff. So when I'm low, I don't look at, did my staff do something? I sit back. What did I do wrong? Then the next thing is what he said. When I'm in my low, that's when the wild ideas come. But I'll cry. And I'm thankful for supportive partners like my husband. I'll cry on him.
It's a round of applause for that. Supportive partners are important.
Yeah, unfortunately, he traveled, so he's not here. But I'll cry, and by the time we wake up, like he'll wake up in the morning and he'll see that I'm sitting behind the computer. Like, oh, so I came up with this idea, and then I'm fine. So the low times, you actually have to make use of. It's not bad, like you said. That's how life is. You can't always have it all rosy, but that's when you sit back, when you realize things are not really going well. Sit back, reflect. What can you do? How innovative can you be to spice up things? So that's how.
So you don't sit down and feel sorry for yourself. You make use of it and you move. Okay, round of applause for that. Do we have any more questions? Okay, so Mike is here.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Your name, please.
All right, my name is Charles Jokoto. I used to run a hub and Jolu. We're more into like co-working space, incubation and acceleration for entrepreneurs. And I'm also a mentee with a Hospra. But nice story from all of you all. So I work in the hub more often. You see entrepreneurs, people passionate about their businesses, working in, day out. And one of the things is most, let me say, founders like us are quite confused. So you see someone that you want to launch something like, okay, I need someone influential to post it on Instagram. And I know from your talks, none of you have mentioned that, right? You don't want, what's this lady's name? The lady with high sense. Yeah, still post tomatoes on Instagram, but you've not mentioned that. So I want to know, do you have ambassadors playing a role in like, let me say, growing your brand, anything of that sort?
Interesting question. Okay, go on.
Okay, so the networking that he said, when I was working at the TV station, I had people like Bella, all those people as friends. So when I started the business, I went to them. I can't afford. Hey, influencer, nobody, you can't. But network, like the links that you have, the people you know. You have a friend who has like 20K. They don't really have to be celebrities. So I also got that, like because I know someone, I'll tell, can I bring this? And sometimes they will, because you are friends with them, oh, Ajua, let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. But if you have friends too, 20K, 30K, they are not celebrate like there, but they have the followers. You can let them do that for you. It helps. It's all part of digital marketing. Yeah.
Brilliant. Benjamin.
We like to treat our clients more like influencers in a way, because let's say once you do work for MTN puts it out there. That's you basically tapping into MTN's network,
Absolutely.
right? So we try our possible best to treat them like influencers. We work hand in hand. We tap into their network, they tap into our network. So for us, that's like our influencer circle.
Okay. Kezia.
Well, it's the same as what they said. Ajua she has said it because, well, for me, I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. So, and they believe. You see, they believe in what I am doing. So because they believe in what I'm doing and want to help, they don't find it difficult to even. I don't even have to ask. They will post it. So I have some influencer friends that I don't even have to ask them to post. By the time I realize they've mentioned me or they've shared it, yeah. So it's all about networking and knowing people and let people love what you're doing. Let them believe in what you're doing. Let your mission and vision be clear to everybody, and then you get them to want to help you and influence.
Just as I work in media. I've always had an issue with just choosing a brand ambassador because you feel the person is popular. I think the bottom line is getting whoever is supporting you to believe in what you're doing. When the person believes in it, naturally it will fly. And when you believe in it and you're sharing it to people, catch on to that fire, and you don't even have to pay a big, brand ambassador budget for it. So, a lot of the brand ambassadors don't even really align to the product anyway, and you're paying them per post, per picture, per video, and that may not even take your business where you need it to go. Take that from me who works in media. So, yeah, you're welcome. Any more questions? Okay, there's a lady here.
Hello.
Hi.
Mine
What's your
is not
name?
really a question, but a suggestion
Okay.
for the future Ghana. I'm Sharifa.
Sharifa.
I'm a dietitian. Yeah. So, about the story you said about the little boy whose mother is sick and then have to go to the north, I think you should link up with other NGOs over there so that they'll just keep a check on them. Did you get it? Knowing other NGOs makes your work, I don't know how to say, but it puts it in check. Yeah, so if you know any NGOs over there, you can have the link with them so that they check up on your kit to make sure that everything is okay.
Thank you, Sharifa. Brilliant. Brilliant advice. Okay. There's one here. None from this side of the room yet. Okay, so you go first then.
Okay, please, I'm Anastasia.
Hi, Anastasia.
My question is to Kezia. Before you started, you mentioned that payroll is full, and so we should do our own businesses. Now, Kezia, how do you make money? Because you seem to be giving out money all the time. So what do you get for yourself? Do you really get something for yourself?
No, I actually give.
Exactly. So once payroll is full and you are giving,
Yes.
I want to give. I'm a social worker. I want to give. I don't have a job. I want to give. How do I give? Now I give. You find people to help you give. How will you eat? How do you survive? Like those questions. So do you do anything else that gives you money for yourself? Thank you.
Good questions.
Please, for starters, I'm a student, so my parents still take care of me. Yes, my parents still take care of me. But I'm in a law school, so by the grace of God, very soon I'll be called to the bar. I will still be working. I will start working. and I will be doing FTF. But because of the way I'm passionate about it, I'm actually considering going full-time. But there are some NGOs I know that actually pay their workers and all. So when it gets to that time, then we can try and see how best you're going to work on employment and all those things. I think we haven't got there yet.
No.
But to answer personally now, my parents take care of me, so I don't.
Okay, but
yeah.
Anastasia, let me help you with that though. There are many NGO non-profit models that you can look into. Like she mentioned, they're still at the stage where they're in school, they're students. But yes, some NGOs, non-profits do pay their workers. So that coming back to pricing and when you're going for donor partnerships and all those things should be showing on your proposals that this amount of money goes into paying this amount of money goes into making sure that the office runs with staff, that kind of thing. And then I also know a lot of people who work with non-profits who run NGOs who have other jobs. So there are those jobs that pay them so that they don't have to now rely and feed off of the money that's supposed to be going back. It's a reason why it's called a non-profit in the first place, right? So that also comes with the sacrifice of what you choose to do, and you should know what you're getting yourself into, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, here.
Okay, so my name is Yasmin.
Yasmin.
I'm an aspirant mentee. I have a question. From observation, like it's obvious that most of everybody on the panel are people who are like young, who had ideas very young, and they never gave up on their dreams and they still pursued their dreams. I wanted to find out what is your most ultimate advice you'd give to young aspiring entrepreneurs, especially those in junior high schools and senior high schools, because most of the time we feel like our system doesn't put things in place, and sometimes people are scared to take that step. So,
Okay.
what is your most ultimate advice?
Okay, so I'll start from you, Kezia.
Okay, so once you want to venture into something, first you have to know what the problem is. What do you want to solve? What problem do you want to solve? And then get your mission and vision. So the mission is how are you going to go about solving the problem? And then the vision is what you want the world to see. So when you get to the point where you're actually doing it, what do you want the world to see? Yes, and then you also have to be courageous. Because if you have the ideas and then you are very, what's going to happen, if I think about it as what's the best that can happen when I do it? What's the best? So the best thing that can happen is that a child that I'm nurturing now, Elizabeth, who is 3 years old, will very soon be 25 and then be a dietitian. Elizabeth will be a lecturer. So that's what I'm thinking of the future. And then I'm very, I'm courageous enough to get up and actually start something. So you start from somewhere and then you get help, advice, and then you get it going. So that's what I can say.
Okay, wonderful. Benjamin, so Benjamin, how old are you now? We know Kezia's 21. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27, okay. Yeah. So what's your advice?
So my advice will be scared, but do it anyways. Right? So there's nothing wrong with you having the fear of what if I fail. I mean, all that is going to run through your mind, but still take the step to do it. And also, you don't need to figure everything out before you start. So most of the times, that's the problem with starting. You want to make sure everything is laid out, where the money is going to come from, who your next client is going to be. Don't try to figure everything out before you start. Just start and then figure it out as you go.
Adra Google.
So.
And how old are you, Adra?
I'm older than you. I'm 28.
Okay, wonderful.
I'm the oldest here. Like, this is the first time I'm feeling.
No, I'm the oldest here, so don't claim.
The three of us. Now she's come to take my shine.
Yes.
Yes. So, like he said, every day beer comes. It's scary, but do it anyway. I know this thing is a cliche, but don't give up. It's a cliche. Oh. You hear it everywhere. But what else will you do? You can't give up. So please, don't give up. Just set a target. Like me, when I started, because I saw Walmart, Whole Foods, the day I stepped foot in Walmart and Whole Foods, hey,
you lay on the floor.
Pictures. No, I was there. I took a lot of pictures because this is a dream, but I'm not there yet. So sometimes I just go online, go and check the pictures. Then I'll come back, then I'll feel okay, you know. So don't give up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the last thing I'll add to that is, don't forget that, or in case you haven't realized it, 77% of the African population now is below 35. So everybody is young. In Ghana, very young population. But you see, when you're young, you have the leeway to make the mistakes and to dream. When you have kids, when you have a husband, you have a wife, the responsibilities become more and more and more and more. So dream and take the risk when you're younger. The younger you are, the better. But the important thing is just keep dreaming. And you'd be surprised at the number of people who would jump on those dreams, right? And as for me, I'll say be fearless. Don't care, just be fearless and go at it. You'd be surprised at what you can do. I keep telling people that, and before can we take a last question? Yeah, so before I come to you, that now my poetry earns me more than my day job. Yes, but I still have a day job. My poetry earns me more. And you just need to keep focused on the dream. And sometimes your side hustle doesn't need to be a side hustle. It needs to be your second full-time job. So remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm Rector.
Hi,
Aspira mentor, but a teacher as well. Yes. I think I would, my question would go to
Benjamin.
Yes. In terms of your branding, the logo, the tag you put on your product. Maybe I'm into a venture, I do food stuff, but I have granite paste, I have maybe the rare paste and stuff. Does it necessarily mean that I should pick specific color to attach to a product? Or I could go with any color of my choice? Or it should be something catchy so it would attract others in? And in a venture, could I bring in all other products that I feel like putting in place so that I would sell my product? Thank you.
Interesting question.
So, first of all, I'll say your logo or your identity shouldn't be descriptive. I mean, I see like many businesses, startups making that mistake. So you sell shoes and your logo has a shoelace or whatever in there. I feel like it limits your, like in your case, you want to expand into other things. That will limit you. And when it comes to color and should you have a catchy logo, should you have an icon, all that will be spring from your strategy, right? So there's color psychology. You need to know what your target market, you need to know what they are into, what they like, what is going to get their attention. And there are colors that could represent that for your brand, right? So, I mean, for starters, you can just go online, read about color psychology. You see the different colors with whatever mood they trigger, and then you can apply it to your business for starters. So.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So I think we can wrap it up. Round of applause, please. Unfortunately, we can't take any more questions. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Those of you who've joined us here at Alisa, thank you for coming. Thank you for keeping your mask on so that we can be safe and all of us can be safe. And for those of you who've been watching us, joining us, commenting, clapping from home, from your car, from your office, wherever you are today, from Agbobushi if you're there, via Haspera and MTN's Facebook and YouTube pages, thank you for joining us as well. And look, let me remind you that MTN Pulse, you need to go there, download all the good things out there, learn about people's side hustles, get the packages that are available, the culinary experiences at discounted prices, Yango rides at discounted prices, do all that, very important. And of course, I'll remind you that on the 23rd of January 2022, which is just next month, it's not far away. So start planning, start making plans so that you can join the mentorship program that Ahaspera has available. And again, when you came in, you registered. Those of you who are here registered at the front desk. So some of you were asked to download an app and whatnot, right? You have all that information? Okay, so make sure you register. Those of you who are with us online, please, you can scan the QR codes that are put out and everything. Go to Haspara's pages, get all the information, and make sure that you join the mentorship sessions. Just that's the tip of the iceberg. But when you enter a Haspara mentorship, there's a different matter. It's like boot camp. So please make sure that you sign up and get all these things that you need to get. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Apioko. I've been your moderator. Cristobal, would you like to come and say final words? Cristobal, founder of Haspara. Haspara is 10 years old, guys. It's a very big deal. Doing this for 10 years in Ghana is not easy.
So thank you so much to everybody who joined from online and in person. Many thanks to MTN Pulse. We wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. Give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. A couple of quick announcements. If you're in the room, MTN actually likes to bring business to you to make your life easier. And so they're doing SIM re-registration just outside. So you can go ahead and do that if you have your Ghana card. If you don't, remember the deadline is March 31st, right?
Yep.
So you don't want to do last minute. Please get your SIM re-registered and re-register only with MTN. Thank you so much. We will continue mentoring. As Apioko said, we have the incubator series coming up. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And another thing also to remind you is a lot of the times it's not just the day that you watched online. Let people know to go back and pick the nuggets as they need. But many thanks also to our panelists. We couldn't have done this without you. Amazing. And to our favorite moderator, Apioko. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
In a world where you can be anything, who will you become? When you can go anywhere and never be alone, how far will you go? When your voice can reach every ear in the world, who will you inspire? When your money can travel faster and further, who will it reach? When you can tell a story in every language, which one will you tell? When you don't need permission to turn your dreams into reality, you go for it. Whatever it is, wherever it is, go. And when you think you've reached your limit, we'll keep you going. Let's go.